Okay, good morning, everyone. Let us continue with the standard normal distribution. And today I'm planning to take some examples as well. If you remember, we had seen the standard normal distribution and some formulas. So just to, because that was some few last slides of your last session, I'll just revise it a bit. For your normal distribution, it is nothing but your, we can say, continuous probability distribution. Okay, and it is also known as your Gaussian distribution. If you remember, we had used a formula, your probability density function, which now looked like this. So this was the formula, Pz equal to 1 upon square root of 2 pi and e to the power minus z square divided by 2. Now, we need not worry about this formula because in one of the tables, all the values of Pz under the normal curve is provided to you in a table form. Okay, so we are not going to basically use this function to do any calculation. Okay, all the values are already provided. The calculations or the formula which will be used frequently will be to calculate the value of z. So which is given as z equal to x minus n divided by your standard deviation, that is sigma. Okay, and z is nothing but your standard normal period. The value of mean is always 0 under your standard normal distribution, and especially for all the values between minus infinity to plus infinity, the value of standard deviation is 1. Okay, so using all this properties and functions, let us take up an example. This were some notes which I told you to note it down. Your Z1 and Z2, it looks like this. If suppose I want to find out the probability of a point lying between Z1 and Z2, this is my total area under the curve. Okay, and I can refer to the formula and also the table. That is your normal distribution table. I'll just show you the table. I want you all to just take a screenshot of that because you need to refer to that table to find the different probabilities for different values of z and then use it in your you can say problems. Okay, so this was one I showed you last time, and we had seen this. So there are two halves, as I told you, under the normal curve. If you look at this one, the previous one. Okay, so the half on the right hand side, the total probability will be 1 by 2. Similarly, because it is symmetric, the left hand side also will be equal to 1 by 2, the total. Okay, and we can make use of this property of symmetry whenever we are doing the calculation for different probabilities. Okay, this is some points if you want, you can note it down. And then we also saw this sigma for one sigma, that is one standard deviation. The total percentage is 68.26. So it covers 68.26% of the curve. And if the value of z is 2, so for standard deviation 2, it is more than that, 90 something, 72. And this is the, okay, we will, this was the last slide, I think. This was the last slide which we saw in the previous section. Now let us go further. To begin with, I want you all to just note down this, not write it down, but take a screenshot of this particular standard normal table, distribution table for the values of z. Just for an example, how to see this table. If let us say I want to see the value of 1.67, okay, so under z, you have to come to 1.6 here, and under the column, just move to the 7th column where we have 0.07. So the value, the probability value for z 1.67, that is given here, that is 0.4525 will be the answer for this. Okay, And as you know, the total I said will be half or 0.5. You will find that this table goes up to 3.4, but it goes beyond this. It goes to 3.999, where the value is 0.5000. Okay, after, especially after 3.49, especially when we come to 3.5, the value is 0.4998 for many, you can say, values or many inputs. And finally, you'll have a stable value, that is 0.5, because you can see in the curve also, curve, the tail is very big. Usually it does not join, it goes infinity. Okay, so it's very long tail. This is some few table of values which we'll be referring in some of the examples which we need to solve today. Okay, so if you have taken it, the screenshot of the values, we'll move further. Let us take an example so that I'll take a basic example where we'll directly find the values and we'll try to understand how to actually do the calculations. One more thing you remember is whenever you are solving problems related to your normal distribution, the best way is to draw the curve and plot the points Z1 and Z2, the lines which we had drawn before on the graph. It will give you a brief idea about how to go about doing the calculation. Okay, so let us take the first one. Now, appendix A, I have already shown you some values we need to know. So let us go to the first one. Now, if I want to find out the probability of Z for all the values between 0 to 1.25, okay, so under the normal curve, so what will happen is, one more thing, please remember, the table which I showed you was for the positive side. The same table has to be referred for the negative side as well. The values are same. As I told you, we need to convert the negative values into positive using the property of symmetry and refer to the same table. Okay, so it is not that the negative values will have different probabilities compared to the positive values. It is the same. Okay, so we have to refer to the same table. Okay, now to find the probability of any point lying between 0 and 1.25, if I refer to the table here before, okay, 1.25 will come here, and that is this value 0.3944. Okay, so if I refer to this table, I immediately get the answer. 0.3944 is the answer for the probability lying between for the values of Z lying between 0 and 1.25. Okay, so whenever we are solving such problems, we have to refer to the table again. Okay, so for value of Z, you can see 1.25, the value is 0.3944. Okay, it is that simple. So refer to the table, get the answer and write it down. Right? If I tell you to find out the value of say negative value, as I told you, even the negative value on both the side. So we can write P into bracket minus 1.25 less than equal to Z less than equal to 0 can be written as P into bracket 0 less than equal to Z less than equal to 1.25. Okay, which is similar as the previous one. Now this is called your property of symmetry, which I am making use of, and rewriting the value which was negative in this form here. Okay, and I'll be using this form many times in the next or the examples which we'll be taking. Okay, so again we go back to the table, and when we refer to this value of 1.25 in the standard normal curve, or so the normal curve table, you'll find the value as 0.3944. One more example, if I want to find out the probability for Z between 0.6 and 1.25. Now what happens as both the values are positive? Okay, so let me show you the graph here. So we'll have two values. We have Z1 as equal to 0.6 and Z2. Now this has to be Z1 and Z2, please. It's not Z. It is Z1 equal to 0.6 and Z2 as 1.25. So if I draw two lines on the graph, as you know, the total of one half of the graph for the probability on the positive side is 0.5. So I can make use of that 0.5. Okay, so I can rewrite this whole thing as this. Okay, so area under the curve from 0 to 1.25 minus area under the curve from 0 to 0.6. Okay, those who have not understood this, I'll just show you to you on the graph here. Even I want you all to draw the graph which we had done here, this one, this graph. Okay, if I take this value, so let us say Z1 was 0.3, right? 0.6. Was it 0.6? I think so, 0.6. Okay. So if I take this value as 0.6 and this is as 1.25. So what I can do is the probability of from 0 to Z2, this whole area from 0 up to this line of Z2, I'll find the probability there. Subtract the probability of from 0 to Z1. If I do that, I get the probability of this area here in between. Okay, that is what I am trying to do. So what are we doing is we are finding the probability for Z2, okay, from the table and subtract the value or the probability of Z1 from 0 to Z1. Okay, that will give me the probability for this area, the shaded area. I hope you have understood this. So coming back to the problem. So this formula which I have represented here, okay. So area under the curve from 0 to 1.25 minus area under the curve from 0 to 0.6. So you refer to the table again and the values you can get, you can write it like this as well. So P into bracket 0 less than equal to Z and less than equal to 1.25. That means from 0 to 1.25 minus P into bracket 0 less than equal to Z less than equal to 0.6. And then when we refer to the table, I'll get these two values 0.3944 minus 0.2257, which gives the answer as 0.1687. Any doubts here? Because if you do not understand this, you won't be able to solve any of the problems. If there are no doubts, I'll move ahead. Okay. So no doubt, it's very much clear.
Sir, please explain it once again.
Once again,
Sir,
okay, guys.
Sir, please explain it once again.
Yes, fine. Now, see, what we are trying to do is we are trying to find the probability of area between 2 points. What are the 2 points here? 0.6 and 1.25, right? Now, if I draw the curve, okay, like I showed you the curve here. This was my curve. Okay, if I take this curve and take the value of Z1 as 0.6, okay, and Z2 as 1.25, right? Because 1.25 will be away from 0. So Z2 is 1.25. So what I do is I'll just take a pen. Okay, where is the pen? So I can take spotlight. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay, from here I can take the color. Okay, and okay. Now, if I take this values, okay, so this is 1.25. Forgive me for my writing here. This is 25, okay, and this is 0.6. So all the area between year to year, from year to year, I find the probability for that. Okay, once I get the probability for this whole area, I subtract the property for the area from here to Z1. Okay, so if I subtract this property with this, I'll definitely get the property for this area which is shaded. Okay, so this is 0.6 and this is 1.25. So once I find the property for this whole area and subtract the property for the area between 0 to 0.6, then I can find the property for the area between 0.6 and 1.25. That is what I want to say there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And suppose by chance, let us say the value of Z1 was here somewhere. Let us say it was here. Okay, this side. Fine. In this case, what are we going to do is using the symmetric property, the property of symmetry. So let us say this is 1. Let us say 0.5. Okay. If this is 0.5, this whole thing is 0.5. The property for this half is 0.5. Okay. So I take 0.5 plus the property of the area between 0 and 0.5. Or let us take this 0.6 only. Otherwise, it will be very confusing. Okay. So this whole area plus the area, the property for the area between 0 and minus, because this is on the other side, it will be minus 0.6. But because of the property of symmetry, what I'll do is I'll take the positive side only, this area. So I'll draw a line here, which is same to the area here. Okay. So whether to perform addition or to perform subtraction will be very much clear when we actually draw the graph. So always, whenever you are solving such types of problems, I'll suggest you to draw the bell curve. Okay, the curve, a regular curve. Put the value of z as 0 in the center. And then depending on the points which are given to you or the values of z1, or if they have given you the value of x, you can make use of the value of x to find out the value of z easily. And I had already just shared the formula with you. It is x minus n divided by standard deviation. Okay, that is the formula through which I can find out the value of z. Okay, so whenever you're trying to solve this problem, see that you draw the graph. Okay, so it gives you a clear idea. Immediately you'll get to know whether I need to perform addition or subtraction, or what are the values, between what value I need to find the probability for. Okay, so let us go back. So let me clear this. Okay. So coming to the problem. Fine. And that's the reason you can see this area under the curve Z from 0 to 1.5. I have used the minus sign here. Minus the area of under the curve for 0 to 0.6. Okay. And this will give me this answer. Now, how do I get this answer? For 1.25, we already saw the probability was 0.3944. And this value, we got it from the normal curve table, which I just showed you before. And for 0.6, it was 0.2257. Even I'll show you for 0.6. Let us go back to the table. So you can see this 0.6. Okay. For 0.6, it is 0.2257. Here it is. Clear? So I use these two values and perform the calculation. Okay. So the final answer will be 0.1687. Let us take a few more examples. We'll go ahead. If suppose I have to find out probability for value of z greater than equal to say 2.5. Let us see that. Okay. So if I'm saying z is greater than 2.5, that means the value will be up to infinity, right? So it will start from 2.5 and go up to infinity. So I can write this probability function like this. So for p, 2.5 less than equal to z, and z is less than infinity. Okay. Clear? So Z is in a way greater than equal to 2.5, but it is less than infinity. So again, if you draw that curve and plot the point, you'll find that my area, for the area where I want to find the probability, is beyond 2.5, and you can shade that line, put that line and shade the area beyond that up to infinity. So in a way, you can call it as the tail part of the positive side. Okay. So again, refer to this table. You can write it like this whole thing. Now, this is my total probability from 0 to infinity is always 0.5. Okay. And minus the probability from 0 to 2.5 will give me the answer for this. So for probability greater than 2.5, the answer will be like this. So again, referring to that chart again, or the graph again. So if I take this line here as 2.5, okay. So where is my area? My area is beyond this. So this area here, okay. And if I want to find out the probability for all the values beyond 2.5 from year to year, let us say from year to year, then this whole area minus this area will give me the probability for this area which is not shaded right now, this one, this tail area. Okay. Clear, guys? So when we are talking about this, I want you all to draw the graph as well, or at your end. Okay, it will help you to understand it better. Right? So this answer will come as 0.5 minus 0.4938, which will be 0.0062. Now, if I change this sign, if I make it as Z less than equal to 25 or 2.5, what will happen? When I say less than 2.5, that means it can go up to minus infinity, the negative part as well. Okay. So my area will be from, say, 2.5 in the positive part or the area, and go up to the negative infinity. Okay, so let us see that as well. So if I have this probability for all the values less than equal to 2.5, then I can write this as probability of value for Z lying between minus infinity up to 2.5. Okay, okay, just 1 minute. There's something in chat. Let me refer to that. Okay, Advaith is giving me the answer 0.9938. Right. Fine. So in this case, what will happen is, again, I can change this function, the probability function, as P, that means 1/2, where it will move from 0 to negative infinity will be 0.5 plus the area between 0 to 2.5. Okay. So in previous case where we had a greater than 2.5, we had used the minus sign. Okay. So here what will happen? I'll make use of this property here. So I'll have minus infinity up to 0. Now this is 0.5. Okay. And this can be written using the property of symmetry. I can change this whole thing into, say, the positive part, that is from 0 to say plus infinity, because the values are same. Okay. So this will give me 0.5 plus 0.4938, which will give me 0.9938. Makes sense, guys? I hope you are understanding this. So if I represent this whole thing in terms of the graph, the shaded area will be the full area of the negative part, the negative area from 0 to negative infinity, and some part of the positive part area, which will be up from 0 to 2.5. Okay, and that's the reason we have put the plus sign there. Clear? Let us take one more. If I say instead of the positive value, now here we had just given less than equal to 2.5. Now, if I say a negative value, that means the point itself lies in the negative part from 0 to minus infinity. That is, if I say minus 2.5. Okay. Now, this minus 2.5 indicates that my point is lying in the negative area from 0 to minus infinity, which can be written as here. So it is minus 2.5 because we have said z greater than equal to. So if it is greater than equal to, that means from minus 2.5 it is going to go up to positive infinity, isn't it? So I can rewrite this whole thing as this. That is probability into bracket the value of z moving from minus 2.5 up to infinity. We cannot put equal to infinity here, less than equal to here, this one. So that's why this is less than infinity. Clear? Now this can be further written as, we know that we can divide this into two parts now, for the negative one and for the positive one. So what I can do is I can write probability of say value of z between minus 2.5 up to 0 plus I can put from 0 to infinity, isn't it? So this can be written like this. So minus 2.5 up to 0 and from 0 up to infinity. Okay. Now this whole part, this part will be 0.5. Okay. And the first half, that is for value between minus 2.5 up to 0, using the property of symmetry, I can write from 0 to 2.5, isn't it? So this can further be written as from 0 to 2.5, like this, plus 0.5, because this is going to be total as 0.5. Okay. And when we refer to the table for the value of 2.5, I'm going to get 0.4938. So 0.4938 plus 0.5 is going to give me 0.9938. Clear? Now again, what I can do is I can change the greater than sign into less than sign and keep the negative value. So if I do that, what will happen? So if I want to find out the probability for the values which are lying, between say minus 2.5 and minus infinity, this can be written as for p z greater than 2.5. Now we have already found out the value for all the points beyond 2.5 in the previous example, which was here. Where is 2.5? Here it is. This one, the fourth one. For probability greater than 2. All the values greater than equal to 2.5, which was taken or which is given as 0.0062. Okay. I hope you everyone understood this. So again, I can rewrite this whole thing as, and if I want to find out, we can do this problem. We have already done it before. And the last one, if I want to find out the probability for the values between minus 2.5 and 1.25. So we are including both the parts, that is the negative area as well as the positive zone. Okay, so both the zones are considered here. So we can rewrite this in terms of 0, 0. So minus 2.5 up to 0 and from 0 to 1.25. Okay, find out the value now using the property of symmetry for this value here. Okay, I can rewrite this whole thing as from 0 to 2.5. Clear? And the answer can be referred from the table, and we get the answer as 0.8882. Now, if you have understood this, let us take, I'll give you one problem to solve. Okay, where the value of z is not given to you, the value of x will be given to you. And we need to find out the value of z and then use this, all the properties. I've shown you all the varieties right now. Okay, so let us take one example. So we have one example where we have been given as the weekly wages of 1,000 workers are normally distributed around a mean. So mean M is given as 70 rupees and standard deviation as rupees 5. So your sigma is equal to 5, M is equal to 70. Now estimate the number of workers whose weekly wages will be. So there are some questions given to us. I want you to solve the first one. That is the value between. So x1 is given as 70 and x2 is given as 72. Now to find out the value of z1 and z2, okay, you will use the formula as, remember the formulas for z equal to x minus m divided by standard deviation. So this will be 70 minus z1 will be equal to 70 minus mean. What is mean? 70. So 70 minus 70 divided by 5, which will be 0. Okay. So z1 is 0. What about z2? X is 72. 72 minus 70, that gives me 2. 2 divided by 5. So what is 2 divided by 5? Please check it out. 0.4. Okay. So you have to find out the probability for the value of z between 0 and 0.4. Now refer to that standard normal curve table where we have all the values of probability for different values of z and tell me the answer. Please try it out. Okay, there's one answer in the chat. Okay, the answer is coming to, okay, this is the probability we have, Advait, you have given me the probability 0.1554, which is right. But what is the question? After you find out the value of probability, you are supposed to also find out the number of workers whose weekly wages is between 70 to 72. So if your answer is 0.1554, you have to multiply this by 1,000 because we have 1,000 workers, right? Because we have 1,000 workers, so multiply by 1,000. That is going to give me 1. Is it going to give me 1,554 Advait? It's going to give me 155.4.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have missed on the point. So the answer is 155.4. Now we cannot divide the people in, half, like 0.4. Okay. So approximately it will be 155. So what I can tell is, I can say that there are 155 workers who gets the salary or the daily wage or weekly wage between 70 to 72 rupees. It makes sense now? Okay, the second question. The second question is, we have to find out the number of workers whose weekly wage is between 69 and 72. Okay, so you have to find out the value of Z1, that is 69. So you'll have 69 minus 70, which will be minus 1. Minus 1 divided by 5.
दोपहर को तो अपन दोनों थाली खा
Minus,
रहे शाम को लगेगा
give you minus 0.2.
हाँ तो
Someone's mic is on.
तो वही दोपहर को तो वही खाएंगे मैं खाना नहीं बना रहा आज अबे आज तो बनाना है अबे शाम को तो दोपहर को नहीं हाँ वही अभी नहीं
Guys, please check your mic. Someone mic is on. Okay, what will be the answer for the second one? Now for Z1, I'll get minus 0.2. Now the value for finding out the probability from minus, that means it is lying in the negative half and it is also covering the positive half. Okay, so some part of the positive zone and some part of the negative zone. Okay, there are two answers in the chat. Let me see the answers. Okay, Advait says 818. Okay, and Shonit gives the answer 234.2. Okay, fine. Shonit's answer is right, but it is not 0.2. It is 235 because the answer is coming to 0.2347 and not 42. Okay, it is not 42, it is 47. Simply because if I want to find out the value for 0.2, let us refer to that table. Just 1 minute. Let us refer to that table. So if I go back to the table here, okay, so 0.2, let us say 0.2. So this 0.2, 0.0793 plus, we have to find out the value for 0.4. What is 0.4? Now please remember for 0.4 it is this one. So 0.1554. So when we add this up, I get some answer. What is the answer? 0.2347. Okay. And that's why the answer will be 0.2347. Once we multiply this by 1000, so the answer will come to 234.7. Now, because it is 0.7, I'll round it up to 235. That will be the answer. So for the second question, the answer is 235. Now, please find out for the last one, and we'll stop here. It's already like 1 minute left. So the last one for value more than rupees 75. So when I say more than 75, you know, the value of Z will be 75 minus 70 divided by 5. That comes as 1. Okay, that means probability of the value between 1 to infinity. Okay, from 1 to infinity. That means I have to use 0.5, the total, minus the probability for the 0.1. So if you can give me the answer, we already have 1 minute left. Or when we come next, we'll see the answer for this as well. But please give a try here right now. And if, okay, there's some answer here. 158.7. That's right. The answer, so approximately the answer will be 159. Okay, so 159 is the answer for the third question. Great, guys. So I think you have understood it, many of you. We'll continue with the same example in the next session. Fine. Thanks, everyone. We'll stop.